Hi. Yes, I have dropped out of school. For everyone wondering, I have dropped out of school. I like to use the word dropout because it sounds really dramatic and I like feeling dramatic. The truth of the matter is I am taking a year off of school and I'm no longer attending ASU. Somebody is walking with their dog. This dog is walking by looking like it came straight from hell. Straight from the underworld from Percy Jackson. Well, that was fun. There are two main reasons why I have left school. One is ASU. The second is my health. Fall 2019, little miss me has gone off to college. I attended Arizona State University. I was at Barrett, which is the honors college at ASU. Worked my ass off in high school to get there. Didn't hang out with people on the weekends. Not a social person. Had like little to no fun. Yeah, worked way too hard to get there. I'm sure there are people that worked a lot less harder than I did and ended up in exactly the same spot, but that's besides the point. So, for the first semester, I was a dance major. I realized that maybe that just wasn't for me. Not the dance wasn't for me, but just the program at ASU just didn't quite have what I was looking for in terms of a dance program. So second semester, I had switched to the performance and movement major that is offered at ASU. My advisor convinced me that it was a good idea. It was definitely not. Didn't like any of the classes I was taking. Wasn't looking forward to any of the classes that I was going to have to take. But you know, as a student who is paying a buttload of money, I'm thinking that maybe I can trust my advisor's opinion. But I learned otherwise. So just a little pro tip for anyone out there, maybe trust yourself and not your advisor. Anyways, keep my mouth shut on that one. But I knew that I wanted to major in something creative. I am a very creative person. I am always doing arts and crafts. I'm always dancing. Played the violin when I was younger. Did choir in high school. I'm into sewing. It's like a big part of my life. Just like being an artist. A lot of the other more creative fine arts majors at ASU just weren't really interesting to me. I kind of hit this point back in March-ish where I was like, all right, this isn't working. What am I gonna do? I sat down with my parents. We had a conversation at dinner and I just remember just breaking down and crying. I cried a lot of tears over this. Here I was investing in my education and I was so scared I was gonna invest in something that I didn't really want to do. I switched my major to education. For a while I'd switch it to a science major and I just hit like rock bottom. There is a difference between being interested in something and being passionate about something. And I've realized for myself that I have a shit ton of interests. Are they all passions that I want to turn into careers? Not so sure about that. I didn't want to force that and I didn't want to feel like there was something else that I really wanted to do that I wasn't doing. I don't know if any of that really made sense, but basically my parents and I agreed that we would start looking into transferring. ASU is just not really it for me, and that's okay. In terms of actual colleges that I'm transferring to, right now I'm looking at some schools in Oregon. Once I realized that I was gonna have to take a year off, I was initially kind of upset and like really beating myself up about it. Felt like I had let myself down. But I've had this revelation. Nobody cares how long this takes me. The only person who really cares and who it really affects is me. And if I can accept the fact that it doesn't matter how long it takes me to finish college, it doesn't matter when it happens, doesn't matter where it happens. Like if you're somebody in high school who really wants to go to college, but maybe right now just isn't the time for you, you don't feel ready, just know like that's fine. Like if it all works out for you logistically and you can take a year off, 2 years off, 3 years off, who fucking cares? There is no life rule book that it's like page 41, after high school you must go to college. That's just what everyone else does, and therefore we all believe that that's what we need to do. And I've realized that that's just not what needs to happen. Okay, so now let's talk about my body and how it fails me. I could make a whole video on my health issues. There's a lot of different layers to it. There's a lot of different things going on, and there's no easy answer to the question, what is going on with you? I get asked this question a lot. There is not a good answer to that question. There is a lot happening, both mentally and physically, and there's been a lot happening since like 8th grade-ish. As we all know, I have pretty bad anxiety, and in the last year or so, developed some pretty severe depression, and I've also had some physical health complications that have been around since about middle school, and over time, those have just kind of gotten progressively worse. My body cannot handle any type of stress. The stress could be really small, it could be really big, and my body does not have a good time. So I have some issues with my muscles being able to recover with stress. If I have a panic attack, I'm kind of out for a couple days. It's hard to move around. I have these mental health issues, I have these physical health issues. They're kind of combined, kind of not combined. They influence each other, but they're also separate. Again, it's complicated. That being said, taking this next year off from school does two things. One, it takes away the stress from school. I am somebody that treats school very seriously. I spend a toxic amount of time doing schoolwork, and I was the one making it a toxic environment. And I don't know if that comes from a state of perfectionism. I don't know if it comes from maybe some OCD tendencies, not quite sure, but by not being in school, that gives me time to reassess that mindset and also just to not be experiencing that stress at all time, which was also contributing to both my mental and therefore physical health. So yeah, another thing is it gives me time to focus more on my health and allows me to go to more doctor's appointments, have more therapy sessions. There was a lot of times where my health was getting in the way of school was getting in the way of my health. I just want you to know that I am taking the steps that I need to address kind of the severity of my mental health recently, and also still continuing to figure out what is really going on physically. I've done a lot of tests in the last year, a lot of blood tests. The other day I took a pregnancy test. That's a whole nother story. Again, I would love to go into more detail about my health stuff. Right now is just not the time, not the point of this video, but it is a contributing factor to this big life change. So another thing is, by taking a year off, I am giving myself a whole year to do anything that brings me joy. I've had this realization in the last couple weeks of like, wait a second, this is my time to do anything that I've always wanted to do but never did because I was stressed, was dealing with physical complications, or was too busy working on homework. Like, this is my time to like write down my dreams and like fucking do it. The only person stopping me from doing this is literally me. Like, I can do whatever I want. Obviously, the first thing is focus more on making videos. Making videos brings me so much joy. I've been making videos since I was in middle school, and it just can, like, every time I upload a video, it brings me just a little bit more joy. Therefore, I need to keep doing it. If it's bringing me joy, I'm doing it. In terms of like goals for my YouTube channel, don't really have a goal because I'm kind of like, we're just like here. We're just vibing, we're just making content, whatever happens, happens. So yeah. Also, in terms of content on the internet, something I've always wanted to do is start a podcast. Like, why not? Like, who is stopping me from making a podcast? Nobody is stopping me from making a podcast. I'm gonna make a podcast. And I don't care if I am the only person that listens to this podcast. It sounds fun to me, I'ma fucking do it. And if you want it, that's just the extra bonus. If you don't want it, guess what? You don't have to listen to it. But you can. Great, we can listen together. We can have a great time together. I'm just gonna do it. Who says that you need to be this giant YouTuber to be qualified to make a podcast? No! I'm gonna make one. Look forward to that. The next big thing that I want to do, okay, this is gonna sound really silly. I want to get really good at gymnastics. And that sounds so random, but there is kind of a story behind it. I was a gymnast, that's a loose term, but I was really into gymnastics when I was younger. I wasn't that good, but gymnastics was life. You want to talk about like live, laugh, love gymnastics. Wake up, eat, gymnastics, repeat. Then I did diving, and I also did trampoline and tumbling, and then I just kind of stopped because of my health issues, but I miss it so much. I feel like I've gotten really comfortable with some of my physical symptoms. Not that they've gotten better, but I'm pretty tuned in with myself in terms of like when I need to stop exercising, whether or not I can push my limits. And I feel like I've gotten to this point where maybe I could try gymnastics again and I could get really good at it. And I could like learn all these skills that I always wanted to learn. Like, why not? I really hope that that inspires you to go learn something that you've always wanted to learn or get really good at, but just felt like maybe you couldn't. I don't know, like if you've ever wanted to like learn photography, or maybe you wanted to learn gymnastics, or maybe you wanted to learn how to ride your skateboard, or maybe you wanted to start a YouTube channel. Like if there's anything that you've ever wanted to learn and for some reason there was something that was stopping you, whether that be social pressure, yourself, figure out a way to do it. On that note, I think that's the end of our conversation. Sorry it was a long one, but I'm also not sorry because it needed to be said. Didn't want to have to explain this over and over and over again to anybody that I saw. I want you to comment what your dreams are, no matter how big or how small they are. They could be, I want to be the president, or I want to learn how to do a cartwheel. I don't care how big or how small it is. It's a dream and it matters, and I want to hear about it and I want to know about it. So just let me know. I appreciate you, and I appreciate you taking the time to listen to what I have to say. I'm sure it was boring, but don't forget to like and subscribe, comment your dreams. Want to document my gymnastics journey, want to document more crackhead content, and just what I'm doing on this fabulous year that I have to do whatever I want to do. But yeah, I love you, and I'll see you on the flippity flip. All right. Oh, also too, I need everybody to know I am safe. I am in great hands with my parents. I have a great team of medical professionals that take care of me. I just need everybody to know that. Nobody call 911. I'm doing fine. I'll see you later. I miss you already. I miss you so much. Okay, bye.